from the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra, who will speak about its orientation, activity and operational model. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou, ko Graham Satara-Hose, kai whakahaere CEO of the CSO, and as Phil said, Hannah Wilson, who is our Head of Marketing and Development. We are here to say thank you for council support, the city support, in providing what is recognised as a unique model, internationally unique model. That's a little shot of what it looks like from the orchestra in one of our performance venues. We share the community outcomes as they appear there on the screen. I know there are too many words there, but I know you're familiar with those: collaborative, confident city, green, livable city, cultural powerhouse, thriving, prosperous city. Those are the things that guide us and guide our approach to engagement, relevance, and also, as you support and show yourselves, leadership. As I say, international as well as national. Interesting one there, the green livable city might seem a strange one for us to claim, but we are the only orchestra in the country that utilises 90% currently of any of our guest artists are from within this country, from the motu. We're the only professional orchestra to do that, and we take those principles very, very seriously, in addition to other strategies. The CSO looks like that. It doesn't only look like people dressed in black or tails, which we no longer do on stage. We are intimately engaged in the community. Our vision, particularly through our Ki Te Hapori in the community programs, to provide the most effective music-based community engagement in the Southern Hemisphere. There is no organisation that, as far as we know, and I argue this point internationally, we are unique in our approach to community engagement. It's the thing that guides and motivates the orchestra and the organisation. That is also what the CSO looks like. That is a shot from one of our over 40 programs that we run in community engagement. That's at Burwood Hospital, a program that we run with stroke members, people who experience stroke, and also working in partnership with professional music therapists. Our unique operational model, we engage in approximately 40 traditional main stage performances throughout the year, but we also engage in about 226 direct community engagement touch points. The reason that we there say 60% of the activity is off stage, 226, 40 doesn't look like 60-40, but of course the 40 traditional performances include rehearsals, etc. So a solid 60% of our activity is directly in the community, off stage, and that is again what motivates and drives our operations, internationally unique. There's another little shot of what the CSO looks like, working with the dementia community in one of our Flourish program, which actually is in operation right now in the Romball studio at the CSO Centre. We work with youth, we work with homeless or impermanently housed through City Mission and other operations. We work with aged health, and when I say in a participatory way, recreational ensembles and players throughout the city and the region and the motu, migrant and refugee communities, schools, disability communities, the corrections system with both men's and women's prison, also community corrections, physical and neurological health communities, gifted and talented students, not often seen as marginalised, but for kids whose focused social activity is through music, early childhood, and a developing partnership with the university. Another picture of what the CSO looks like, working with community groups, community musicians, to mentor, to train, to provide pathways. As a local employer, we have a very small team, 7 full-time equivalent admin, 35 salaried part-time professional players, and 100 plus professional contractor musicians, all from the motu. And that is something that we're very, very proud of as an employer. We are the major employer of professional musicians in the South Island. That's also what the CSO looks like, working with men in the men's prison. This is on record, but in terms of the balance of our income, our highs and performance box office figures are worth seeing there, and in terms of the balance with the public funding. This is a brief video. I hope the volume is not shocking. It's not. one of our most recent performances. It was a little bit louder than this live, but this is working with Shapeshifter at Electric Avenue just last weekend. And if we can get as far as a crowd scene, we're not quite going to make it, but I'd be very thrilled to answer any questions if there's time. Thank you.
Good. Sorry. Andre, please.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's any chance of getting Shapeshifter back for another town hall gig.
Absolutely.
Orchestra. Yeah, all
absolutely. Right. And thank you for that question. We're thrilled about those partnerships, and definitely the answer is yes.
Might need 2 shows next time as well.
We'll do what we can.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, just with the new stadium coming online, do you have any plans to do anything in there? And what would that potentially look like?
We do, and we're very proud of our partnership with Venues Otautahi, and we are in discussions about new and different ways to engage, and also definitely in terms of the stadium. We're working on plans with the CEO right now, and I'll also say that that our work in with health. One of our programs, which is the multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's, this afternoon, for instance, at Braintree, and any other time that we're working with any of those programs, we would encourage any of the councillors or staff to come and observe.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in, letting us know what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Christchurch Community House. We'll hear from Nicola, David and Ian Walden, who are here to speak about its strategic plan and future focus. Hello.
Thank you. Hi everyone from Christchurch Community House. Just checking that's working. Firstly, we'd like to say a big thank you and acknowledge the support of Christchurch City Council, not just for funding, but also for the contribution and advice from Christchurch City Council staff. We really love working with your team. We're here today to let you know about our new path forward. We're taking the amazing work from the past and looking forward with passion and focus to the future. And to this end, we have completed 3 really important pieces of work: our new brand strategy, a 2025 strategic plan, and our aspirational future vision. Today we'll be talking high level and sharing our future vision, but before I do so, I'd just like to go through a couple of slides to remind those not so familiar about Christchurch Community House. We're a co-working space in Littleton Street that's dedicated to helping impact-led organisations, and we do this because we have a shared commitment to positive social change. What do we have? Well, Christchurch Community House is a co-working space established over 30 years ago by the Christchurch City Council, and we're dedicated to impact-led organisations. The space is professionally run, we have decades of experience, and not-for-profits love that it's value for money and that they can walk in, set up and start working on their purpose almost immediately. Most importantly, we help bring together like-minded people to collaborate and grow. How do we look to the world? Well, this is where our new brand strategy comes in. You'll see that we've brought together our values into our identity to create the C of Christchurch Community House and refreshed all of our messaging and design to reflect the wonderful space and the dynamic, purpose-driven work that takes place under the roof of Christchurch Community House. This change is an exciting step forward in positioning us for future success. So on to our future vision. It really boils down to 3 goals: to be known as the preeminent co-working space in Christchurch for impact-led organisations, not-for-profits; to purchase 213 Littleton Street to ensure the building becomes a legacy for the Christchurch not-for-profit sector; and to work towards becoming an umbrella organisation that helps the not-for-profit sector to thrive. So let's just unpack these a wee bit. For us to be known as the preeminent co-working space for impact-led organisations, we really need to lift our awareness. We've got work to do here, but the first step was our new brand strategy and messaging, which is now completed. Now we need to tell the story across all of our touch points and to continue running a professional, fit-for-purpose space.
Having completed the move to 213 Lichfield Street in 2022 and the substantial fit-out, the board's next goal is to buy the building. Our aim is to do this within 10 years. A building fund was started 5 years ago, and this is on track at the moment. We have completed a feasibility study and financial modelling has been completed. The next aim for this year is that we will set up a subcommittee to start to explore financing options and strategies to achieve our major goal.
And goal 3 is about helping to lift the whole not-for-profit sector. We're looking to bring together tools, partnerships, relationships and shared knowledge to help everyone thrive, helping enable not-for-profits to be more successful and to grow their impact in Christchurch. So to round up, what are the outcomes for the city with our future vision? We want to make sure NFPs have an affordable co-working space available to them forever at 213 Littleton Street. And our strategy of expanding from a service provider to an advocate and a leader will mean support for not-for-profits in Christchurch to help lift the whole sector. We're poised to make an even greater contribution, and we'd really like to thank you again for your support, and we look forward to making a bigger impact in Christchurch in the future. And please come and visit us soon if you haven't seen our new building and branding. Thank you.
Certainly. Sam?
Thank you for that, and obviously just to acknowledge Mike's passing as well.
Yes.
Which was, I used to audit Community House back in the day, and had a lot of time for Mike. Just in terms of the building, like that long-term view sounds fantastic. I just wondered, you're obviously working in with our council staff, which is great. Are the Rata Foundation, are you sort of in prelim chats with them about funding a building as well? I mean, it just looks like it would align, well, it should align perfectly with what we need in the city, and they're the fund that would potentially...
At this stage, the focus in the last 2 years has actually been relocating and doing the fit out.
Yep.
And Rata was very much part of that and contributed a large capital sum towards that.
Yep.
And so at this, we had initial discussions with them prior to moving into here, and we know that there will be support through that angle. But we also are very... And part of today was to thank, we've got 3 major funders and they've been very supportive of the house for many years. We want to make sure that by reconnecting and get more vision in the community that we get other people in behind it. And so at this point, we're not ruling anything in or out, but we don't want to rely on one particular angle.
Yeah. It would be, I guess, just a bit of encouragement, and it sounds like you're working with them.
Yep.
They would be the ultimate fit for a large part of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they are certainly, and they're not alone with the other 2 supporters as well.
Yeah.
The lease agreement that we have with the council is extremely attractive, and one that we've sort of putting into our calculations to work through. So
Yeah.
the council stepped up, and I'm sure Rata will as well.
Yeah, good. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's, used up your time, but very well put. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Okie doke. So, righty-ho. Now we have here from Jason Campbell, Gary Horan and Jared Loader, who will speak to us about the Port of Littleton. Greetings, chaps.
Yep. My name is Jared Loader. I'm a foreman stevedore in the container terminal at Littleton Port of Christchurch. First off, I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak today at such short notice, and please bear in mind that some of what I'm sharing could be seen as whistleblowing by my employer. As most of you are aware by now, our Chief of Container Operations, Amrita Ballamoran, who in no words has no shipping experience, under the instruction of CEO Graham Sumner, has tabled a restructured document for container operations in the port under the title of a proposal. This proposal sees a dissolution of 31 full-time positions, 24 relieving positions. 6 of these positions are admin management roles on individual agreements, while the remaining 25 full-time positions and 24 relieving positions fall under collective agreements held between LPC, the Maritime Union of New Zealand, MUNZ, and the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union, RMTU. One of the 25 full-time positions in jeopardy is my core role, foreman stevedore, while the 24 relieving positions come from the cargo handler groups. The proposal claims to save LPC $3.9 million in salaries and wages, with 20 new positions created for people willing to go to an individual agreement on lesser terms and conditions, which means 16 people will, unfortunately, be offered redundancy or go back to being cargo handlers. We have serious safety concerns over this. I am speaking today because the restructure proposal comes under the guise of health and safety development, all things that are core to the role of the foreperson and relievers. Yes, we are tasked with the efficient exchange of cargo from ship to shore and vice versa, while communicating with foreign crews, keeping our borders safe from biosecurity threats, also overseeing customs officials x-raying containers looking for illegal contraband, while overseeing yard duties carried out by unskilled labour. We're also there to help develop cargo handler skills and promote recognised talent and maturity into safety-sensitive roles like crane driving, hatch person, coal ship loader, relieving foreperson, etc., while being a go-to point of contact for any cargo handler and management concerns. Our main responsibility, though, is to ensure that every person who enters the port, be it cargo handlers, foreign crews, contractors or truck drivers, leaves the port alive and in one piece, as stevedoring is such a dangerous occupation that it comes second only to forestry in type of injury, and unfortunately second only to mining for deaths on the job after the Pike River disaster. In fact, you have more chance of being seriously maimed or killed on a wharf in New Zealand than you would if you joined any of our armed forces. This is why our four-person team, myself included, take our job so seriously and have serious safety concerns about LPC's proposal. In my time at the port, there have been 6 deaths, 2 of which have affected me deeply as they were friends. None of these deaths have happened under the supervision of a foreperson, something we are proud of and wish to continue. In fact, the report into the death of Don Grant on a coal ship recommended putting a foreperson on the ship as an added safety net. Throughout the world, there are deaths in ports because of no direct supervision by a foreperson. The last death in Auckland of young Pala'amo Kalati, a father of 7, resulted in the charge of manslaughter against former Auckland CEO Tony Gibson, was a direct result of the model that LPC want to introduce in Littleton. This has kept me awake at night, as I know that this proposal will result in another death in the port because a foreperson will not be present. This is something I don't really know if I will cope with, as I have witnessed enough death on the job as it is. And I know that a foreperson being present will ensure we never have to experience this again, hence our serious safety concerns over the proposal. What I'm asking of you, the council, bearing in mind that Graham Sumner gave his word that anyone under collective agreement would not be affected by the restructure, is to instruct LPC through your CCHL arm to honour the letter of expectation from CCHL Finance Committee to engage with unions and invite both MUNS and RMTU to the table to come up with a solution that works for everybody, not just give feedback by the 19th of this month on something that they want to implement anyway, no matter the risk to life. Finally, I ask, who will be held to account when a death occurs? Will it be the innocent victim? Will it be the container operations officer Amrita? Will it be the CEO Graham, who has employed a lawyer to protect himself and LPC from legal liability? Or now I have made you all aware of our concerns, will it be you, the councillors and mayor, that let this happen, all for the sake of saving $3.9 million in wages and salaries? What is the price of a life? Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Absolutely perfect timing. And thank you for bringing in and sharing your concerns with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
I'm open to questions if anybody
No, we've
has
used
any.
all our time up, sorry, but you were
that's
absolutely spot on in your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for making the time.
Much appreciated.
Good on you. Okay, so we've got deputations by appointment. After lunch today, we'll hear a number of deputations on item 10, Ōtautahi Christchurch Future Transport. The decision for this report will actually be coming to our 19th of March meeting. Today, we are simply taking the time to hear submissions. So item 3.2, we have one deputation this morning on item number 9, Gloucester Street, layout and traffic resolutions. I'd like to welcome Anne to the table, please.
Morena, tēnā koutou. I see that I have already spoken, according to the record, but anyway. Thank you for approving my deputation request in respect of agenda item 9, Gloucester Street layout and traffic resolutions. Clause 4.1 in the staff report states, the Gloucester Street Streets for People trial included changes such as adding street furniture and other features that would create an environment that is safe and attractive for road users. First, I must say that since submitting my request, I've received helpful information from council staff, and I'm grateful for their prompt and detailed advice. My request arose from my experience last weekend. It pertained to the trial planter box located on the south side of Gloucester Street outside Turanga. Immediately on the eastern side of the 5-minute parking space. That is, to the rear of any vehicle parking in the 5-minute parking space, and in particular to the vegetation in that box and the potential safety implications for motorists and cyclists. Having parked on Saturday in the 5-minute parking space to return some library books, I had difficulty subsequently in determining when it would be safe to exit the parking space. Because of the height and width of the vegetation in the planter box behind my car, I had almost nil visibility in my rearview mirror as to whether a motorist or cyclist were approaching from the east. On Sunday, a motorist parked in the very same parking space informed me that the reduced visibility was making it difficult for her also to exit the parking space safely. She encouraged me to raise the matter with the council today. However, the staff inform me now that the trial planter box will be removed as part of the work to amend the street layout. A narrower planter box is to be placed immediately to the east of a planned additional 5-minute parking space outside Turanga. Unlike the trial planter box, the narrower box will not encroach into the road space and users of the parking spaces will be able to see vehicles travelling west along Gloucester Street in their side mirrors. If the vegetation grows to a size where it is obstructing visibility and creating a safety issue, it can be trimmed to improve sightlines for users of those parking spaces. It appears we can be satisfied then that the planned removal of the trial plant box will maintain customer satisfaction with the ease of use of council on-street parking facilities, a level of service set out in the staff report Act Clause 6.6.1. Nevertheless, notwithstanding the planned removal of the trial planter box with the thriving but obscuring vegetation, I remain concerned that for the purpose of a trial layout, a planter box was able to be placed in such a manner that it encroached into the road space, and furthermore that the vegetation selected has been able to grow in height and width during the trial to the extent that visibility has been significantly reduced for a motorist exiting the adjacent 5-minute parking space, with potential safety implications not only for the departing motorist, but also for any motorist or cyclist approaching from the east. Also, only through the hearings process were potential safety implications identified regarding the placement of another trial planter box encroaching into the road space and thereby obstructing sightlines from the Wilson parking access. I applaud the council's efforts to create an environment that is attractive for road users. However, in planning such improvements, even on a trial basis, I'm sure you would agree that providing for the safety of road users must be the overarching objective. There are lessons to be learned from the Gloucester Street trial layout.
Thank you very much. I know that in Beckenham, the community put in some planter boxes, but they were quite low, and the planting in them were below the window line of a car. So this is above that, obviously, because it's hindered your view. Have you seen any other temporary planter boxes of that height?
I think, first of all, it depends what type of vehicle you're driving. We don't all drive high Range Rovers, and some of us have more sort of...
No, I wish, but
cars.
actually I do drive a car.
Yes, but it's obviously if you're in a vehicle with higher windows, you've got better visibility.
Yeah.
But for so many cars that are lower to the ground in the rear window, in your rear vision mirror, yes. No, I mean, I haven't... This only happened on Saturday and Sunday, so I haven't made a study of them.
Okay. Yeah, no,
and it's a relief to know that, as the staff have said, the offending planter box will be removed and a narrow one.
That's a very good point, though. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, please.
Thanks so much for that, Anne. And agree that, with the planter boxes, it's a council responsibility because we're putting them in, and so making sure they're fit for purpose is really important. You mentioned the whole double cab ute thing. Do you run into similar problems when, for example, a double cab ute is parked behind your car? So, I mean, they're very large.
Well, that was in the staff advice that I received when they were considering my request. They said, well, with the new one, the narrow one, it's sort of the situation. Well, will be sort of not dissimilar to if you have a large vehicle parked behind you.
That's right.
But I was
Because that
thinking about
happens,
that, but the
because
difference
cars
is,
have got so much
I
bigger.
mean, it's chance as to whether there's a big vehicle parked behind
And
you.
that's right,
But
yeah,
in
this
this
one-
case,
It's a council
even for a trial,
responsibility.
you had the permanent
Yeah.
council authorised fixture.
Yeah. I'm glad it's been moved. Thanks so much.
Well, it will be. I hope.
Okay. Thank you, Anne, for bringing that to attention. Well done. Good on
Thank you.
Right, number 4, petitions. We have no petitions, so I'll move on. And before we get on a bit further, for item number 9, I'm going to withdraw item number 9, Gloucester Street.